would have to store so much stuff in your S3 bucket for you to get charged. So if you guys have created an AMI in the past or RDS snapshots, delete them, that you don't have to delete them. Unless if you just clean up your account, you know you're not going to go back to that project and you just want to delete, then yes, you can delete it. But if you know the project is something you're going to revisit at some point and you want to have reference for all your Terraform code for that particular project where we need the AMI, then don't delete it. Just leave it. AWS is not going to charge you for it. So
okay, all right.
Okay, just a second. All right, so let me get that project file ready and I'll show you guys how to run it. In the meantime, if anyone has any question while I'm getting this ready, please feel free to ask.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I just work on Ansible. So something just crossed my mind that assuming that we are working on it in an organization, and most of these resources like instances, maybe we have like different server in one account, like EC2, and it's already running, and we are being given a task that okay, configure maybe like do security update, like upgrade HTTP upgrade on that different server. If you want to create connection between our main controller, which is Ansible server, and all those other server, I would like configure the SSH.
How do you configure the SSH?
Yeah.
It will be the same way we did it. So every company is different. They have whatever method they use, right? So how Ansible connects to the Ansible server, the server Ansible is installed on, connects to the host machine you are trying to configure is, yes, you can either use password or you can use SSH or you can use both. It will be the same way we set it up in our project.
Because
Go ahead.
I noticed that like we have two hosts, which is on the private subnet. Yeah, and we do the upgrade on those. We deploy an application into those servers. So, and when we wanted to like spin up all those servers, we use SSH key like in form of like pen key to to spin up all those two servers. So I'm now convincing that, assuming that we have pen key being generated from AWS, maybe the organization generated pen key in order to spin up all those servers in the past, and we are being given a task on Ansible. So I'm like, how do you gonna like, are we gonna create SSH key on our terminal and then copy public key into those server each one by one, or how the connection is gonna?
Yes, so most likely if your company has a just a second, I'm trying to open something that I want to show you something. So yes, the principle still stands. If let's use this reference architecture, for example. No, let's go. Oh, okay, I can't open. That's not a picture. All right. So assuming this is the servers we want to connect to, right? And what's going on? My computer is acting slow today. All right. Assuming this is the servers, these are servers we want to connect to, and you now create your Ansible server here, right? So how it works is exactly what you said. It's just the principle of how you SSH. It's always is the same for anything, whether it's in human being that is connecting to the servers, whether it's another machine that's connecting to the server. The principle is the same. Whoever is connecting to the server has to have the private key. So I call it PR. And whatever you are trying to connect to has to have the public key. The principle remains the same, no matter what. So at your company, don't worry about if they create, don't worry about if they create servers that don't have the key PEM file on it. Whatever server they are creating will have the PEM file on it, right? But if it doesn't have the PEM file on it, that's exactly what you are going to do. You will have to connect them and put the public key there if that your Ansible server has the private key to be able to connect to them. But most likely, since it is something they are using, they have a system in place that they know that any of the servers they launch will have that key so that their Ansible server can connect to it.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, so don't think of that's like a worst case scenario, and that's not even good practice. If everything, they will have a process. Like when I was working at Capital One, we use Ansible to configure the servers, right? Every time those servers launch, they always have the public key, always. Then the private key, we store that in a vault. So what the engineers would do is they would download the private key from the vault. Whatever key we use to SSH into the server, the public key will already be on the server and the private key will already be on the Ansible server. Then whatever key we use to SSH into the Ansible server, they store it in a vault and the engineers will just go there, download it, store it in their SSH directory on their computer, and that's how we SSH. So if your company is using Ansible, they would know if they are using the SSH method, they would know that the server must have the public key and the Ansible server must have the private key. That's the process. There is no workaround. There's no work around it. You understand what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get this file ready, but if anyone has any question, you guys can ask.
On that final snapshot, just to make it clear, when I create the VPCs, it's already gonna make a final snapshot for me, and I could just go back to it, or I have to just manually make a final snapshot for it.
In AWS, we manually create our snapshot, but when you delete your RDS instance, there's that option there where RDS will ask you, do you want to create a final snapshot?
Right.
So you can, if you check that, yes, it will create a final snapshot for you. So it is the same thing.
Okay. All right. Cool.
It is the same thing as manually creating it yourself.
All right.
Yeah. Sean, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, Fiz.
Good morning.
And everybody too as well. I got a question about a project I'm working on. It's not a project that comes out of your platform, but I've been kind of just building on my own. I did basically a 3-tier infrastructure, but I use Jenkins as the CI CD pipeline. I got it up. I got the Jenkins server running and everything. The issue I'm facing now is I took some code from your GitHub and I'm trying to deploy the actual website to the web app. And I'm confused a little bit on how to set up the credentials, right? So like, do I do like AWS credentials? How do I get that app to deploy how do I get the website to deploy to the web app through the credentials? Or should I be doing something like what you currently have up there, EC2 Instant Connect, try to avoid all that with the SSH thing?
So you are trying to figure out how you want to get your Jenkins server to connect to your AWS to
Correct.
be able to. So where is your Jenkins hosted on?
It's hosted on EC2 and AWS
Okay.
on the web app. Kind of like what you got currently right there in front of me, in front of us.
So
But it's on the web app.
so your Jenkins server is hosted here
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
public subnet
Let me
or private?
take a look at it. It's in the public because it has a EIP, elastic IP.
Public IP, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for one, your Jenkins server should be in your private subnet. Just if you are adding security to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The security aspect to it, because you just don't want it accessible. Because I mean, obviously you are practicing, but
Yeah.
just for when we are practicing, we pretend as if we are working in a production environment. So it's better to just create it that way. So you create it in your private subnet here, right? And I
Okay.
haven't worked on Jenkins before, right? So I'm not necessarily sure about all of what you need, but when that EC2 instance Jenkins is hosted on is in the same VPC as the servers you are trying to connect to.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, it's just a matter of setting your security groups from this server to allow on this server on this EC2 instance to allow this EC2 instance to connect to it. So however, whatever port Jenkins needs is working on
It's
and used to.
It's 8080.
Yes, so you would have to create a security group on your servers that Jenkins is trying to configure, right? To allow your Jenkins server to talk to them. And I believe from the server standpoint, that is what you would need to do. So I don't think there is an additional thing in Jenkins you would need to configure to connect to the servers, but I haven't worked with Jenkins before, so I don't really know. But from the server standpoint, that's what you would need. Just open the ports on this server to allow your Jenkins server.
Okay, so I did it through Terraform, so I'll just come out of that public subnet, get rid of that, and then put it in a private subnet, and then just connect it that way.
Correct.
So how would people, if people wanted to get to it, how would they be able to get to it?
The same way you would have to connect to any servers in your private subnet. You will either have to use a bastion host in a public subnet, the same exact way. So nothing really changed. Whether it's Ansible or Jenkins, nothing really changed. It's the same way. You would have to use a bastion host. Then whoever is trying to connect will connect to the bastion host, and from the bastion host to the Jenkins server. Or you can use the EC2 instance connect endpoint to connect directly to your Jenkins server.
Okay, so I have to read you. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
No problem. Now you must really like this Jenkins thing. You really want to.
Now, so what I'm doing is I'm going through all the CID. So the next one will be GitLab.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm actually trying to, once I finish this deployment of our projects that I'm sharing with you guys today. Once we finish all of it, the next project I want to work on is code build. So our CI/CD one we did in GitHub Actions, I want to complete it using code build. So
nice.
Yeah. Okay. Just a sec. If anyone else have any question, you guys can have. Just a second. I'm just getting. I want to zip the file so I can send it to you guys. Where do you guys want me to post it? You get everyone has access to Slack, right?
Slack, yeah. Slack would be perfect.
Okay. Okay. Sean, I posted a Jenkins video in the chat, so please feel free to check it out.
Okay, thank you.
It's a YouTube channel. It has some good Jenkins videos. Another thing I recommend about Jenkins is, are you going to be deploying the website using, how are you going to be deploying the website? Are you going to be using Docker images, or are you going to be using scripts? Or
So I got it currently set up doing Terraform. So I provision everything through Terraform.
yeah, but
and then I use user what's it called?
user data,
Yeah,
user data. So that means you have the script already, right?
yes, I already got it done.
So when you say you have it on Terraform, is it just the infrastructure that you've built on Terraform, or you actually have the websites, like all of the website details on Terraform as well?
So what I did, I used Terraform to deploy all the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And then I use user data to within the Terraform file to deploy the Jenkins. And then
What kind of website is it? Is it like one of the
it's one
projects we've been working on? Like
it's
Rendzone?
no, it's the give me a second. I use the pipeline from Jenkins to deploy it. But it is feeds give me 1 second, I'm gonna look at it real quick.
Because you need to do things like database and all of that stuff, like configuration. So yeah,
It's Tech Maps. That's the one.
Oh, TechMax doesn't have a DB, right?
Yeah,
It
that
doesn't
one
have,
don't have the DB.
it's
Yeah,
just a
so that was
plain
just a
HTML.
regular
Yeah.
HTML. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so that might be, my recommendation will be to put some Docker in there, because that script, you're gonna have to make sure that like it runs through Jenkins. And not like Jenkins can be pretty complicated because a lot of stuff you have to do manually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very like it's very manual. Like you have to install Docker manually on the EC2 instance for you to actually have Docker work
Mhm.
on it. So
Yeah, that's why everybody's running from Jenkins.
yeah,
It's just all the things you have to set up just to
yeah,
be able to use whatever you need to do,
certain
whatever
tools.
you
Yeah,
need to do is a lot compared to if you use GitLab, for example, or GitHub Actions or Code Build. The container is ready. You just
yeah,
specify what you want to use, write your spec file, point it to your script, and it will do all that stuff very easy. So, but
Yeah.
I understand what you are trying to do, which I do applaud you for that. So
Yeah, I'm gonna try to dive in it a little bit more this week, but then I'm gonna try to move on I'm gonna get it done, but I'm gonna move on to get labs and then code deploy and all that kind of stuff. But I really wanted to. I've got this far, so I figured go ahead on through with it. But I'm gonna take them suggestions you just mentioned about maybe just redoing it with Docker and trying it that way. So I'll go with that.
cool. Yeah, so I've uploaded the file into our our Slack channel. And what you guys have to do is, and I'll show you how to run it now. And you guys can just refer back to this video, right? So for the first step, right, you need to make sure you have an IAM user. I'm sure all of you guys already have an IAM user you are using for your project in your account. So we'll go to IAM. Select users and create a user. Create an IAM user. Once you create an IAM user, give the IAM user administrator access. Once the IAM user has administrator access, you'll see your user here, right? Then select the user you just create. Then under the security credentials tab, you guys know you have to create access key and secret access key for your IAM user. So once you create the access key and secret access key for your IAM user, save the access key somewhere on your computer. Then we'll use that access key to configure our AWS CLI, right? So these are prerequisite stuff because you guys have already worked on Terraform. I don't want to waste too much time configuring those things. And if for those that have not worked on Terraform, this does not apply to you. Just watch this video for now, just to get an idea of some of the things you'll be working on later on. By the time you get to your Terraform project, I walk you through step by step in those projects how to do all these things. So don't worry about it at this point. You can just listen it. So once you configure your access key and secret access key, once you've created, then the next thing you need to do is configure it on your computer. And you know how you do that is you open your terminal and you will type AWS configure. AWS configure. Once you type AWS configure, press enter. It would ask you, but for this Terraform project, I am using a profile right? So to use a profile, I think I need to create a list of things you guys must understand, especially if you've worked on the Terraform project. One of the things I want you guys to understand is the difference between if you type AWS configure and configuring your access key that way, and if you type AWS configure -- profile. And specify your profile name. So for my Terraform projects or all my cloud projects, I call it cloud projects. So I call this something. So your profile name can be anything. So I usually just match my profile name to the user. So I probably call it cloud project user, right? So once you run this, you press enter, it would ask you for your access key and secret access key. You just press enter, you enter your region, press enter, and that's all you need to do. So once you've configured all those things on your computer, I'm going to download that file that I just posted in the Slack channel here. So I'm going to download it here, right? Once you download it, it's here. Unzip it. Right. Once you unzip it, you can go into that folder. And here so I took a different approach. In this infrastructure directory, this is all the Terraform configuration for the project. So it's the same thing as what we did. But instead of making this infrastructure specific to one project, I made this entire infrastructure as a module. So making it a module, I didn't change anything in it. It's just the same file you guys have now for your Terraform project for this project, right? It's still the same file. Nothing changed in it. I just pretty much put all the files there. Then I now create a different directory that I'll be deploying this application from. So let's say you want to deploy the next application, the one you guys have for your assignment, you just create another directory that will call this infrastructure and you deploy it that way. So I'm pretty sure you guys understand what I mean. So for now, the file that I'm giving you has this too, has this infrastructure and this Shopwise app. The only other thing is, before we run it, let's open it first. So open Visual Studio Code and select File, open folder, and I'll browse to my downloads where I have it. This is it. I'm going to select this folder and click Select Folder to open it. So in here, you can see I have the infrastructure, which has all my Terraform script, and I have the project that is calling my infrastructure. The one thing I implemented with this project is for the RDS database, I am storing the database credentials using Secret Manager. So you would have to go into Secret Manager, go to your AWS account and type Secret Manager. And you will create a secret here. If you don't have a secret, you'll create a secret. So click New Secret. And I believe you'll select Other Type of Secret. For this other type of secret, you would enter your key value and whatever the value of that key is. So for this specific Terraform project, these are the key values right here. So here I have the username, password, DB name, right? So you would have to copy username, paste it here, then give it whatever name you want to give it. Then you add another row. The next secret is the password. You need this for your Terraform to work, for you to be able to deploy this, or else it is not going to work. So you paste it here, enter your password. You add another row, and go back to your Terraform project. The next one is no, just DB name. And you paste it here. So that's pretty much how you create your secret and press it and just add all the secret you need. Then click next. Once you are done, you enter the name for your secret here, description. You can use the name for the description. Come down here. Sorry, my Zoom thing is in the way. Click next. Then on here, you click next again. And on here, you review it and you click store. Right? That's how you create your secret. I'm not going to create this one. Right? For this Terraform project, let me show you. The name of my secret is App Secrets. So I'll show you what is in there. So App Secrets here. Once you've created a secret, to see your secret value, you'll come to retrieve secret value here and you'll see it. So you guys can take a screenshot of this. These are the things you will need in your secret. DB name. This ECR registry, this will be for when we use this same, we will use this same secret when we get to the ECR, the ECS project. Because after this, I show you guys this EC2 one. In the next class, I'll show you guys the ECS one too. So in that one, we would need the ECR registry. So when you create the secret, the only one you need for now to be able to deploy the EC2 is add these ones. You don't need to add this ECR registry one. But if you want to add it now, you can add it now. When you get to that project, I'll remind you to add it. So for now, you only just need this three because that's the only one I'm using in this Terraform project. So you guys can take a screenshot. And mind you, also, when you are creating your secret key, they have to be in lowercase, exactly how you see that my secret keys are here. Lowercase. Don't add uppercase. It needs to match exactly what is in your Terraform code. And in this Terraform code for RDS, right, this is the exact value that Terraform is going to look for when it is trying to reference your key. So it needs to match exactly. So don't forget that when you create the key. So we've configured our AWS CLI on our computer, right? Once you configure your AWS CLI, let me show you. once you configure your AWS CLI, you guys know you will find that credentials in your C drive, users, whatever your name is, mine is called admin, in the .aws folder. If I select config, I'm not going to open my credentials, but whatever I store in the config, the credentials is stored in the credentials. So I'm going to open my config, and I'm going to open with Notepad. So you can see in my config here, I have a profile that is called Cloud Projects. So that was when I said you run AWS configure -- profile, then you just enter your secret key, access key region, and it will store that profile here. So when you guys get this project, once you configure your CLI and you've created your key, you really don't need to change anything in the infrastructure. There is no dynamic there. Everything in the infrastructure is dynamic. There is no hard-coded value in there. So you don't have to change anything in here. The only thing I'm pointing out to you is make sure when you add your key, you are referencing the right key value that I'm using here. So once you have those things in place, in this directory, I have the Shopwise application. Okay, for the Shopwise application, for this particular one, the next thing you need to do is you need to upload the application code into an S3 bucket, because the script that I wrote for this project is referencing it from an S3 bucket. So here, I can show you. If I go to S3. And I have an S3 bucket here for all the application codes that I have worked on. So where is it? Right. So web files, right? The zip files for the application, you guys can store it in the same S3 bucket. I know in the past we've created one file for each project, but after some time, I have so much S3 bucket, I get confused. So it's good to be organized. And one way that I'm trying to be organized is I created a S3 bucket called project web files, and I pretty much just store all the zip files for that project in there. So for this Shopwise that we're about to deploy, you will store the zip file in this bucket. Then when you work on the next application, you can store the next one in this bucket as well. So all your web files will be in one place. So that's the next thing you'll do. Then all we have to do, all I'm doing here is I create my backend file, right? My backend file is referencing the profile that I want to use to authenticate. That was the one I showed you. Did I close it? That was the profile that I configured on my computer using AWS CLI, right? The one that I just showed you here. So if I click on config, open with Notepad, see, cloud project, whatever profile you see that you've properly configured, that's what you can use to authenticate. So since I configured my cloud projects profile, that's what I'm using here to authenticate, right? So you guys will come in here. You'll come into this backend, right? For the Terraform project, you come into your backend file. You will need to change the bucket name to whatever bucket you are using to store your Terraform state file. So if I show you in my AWS console, I go back to buckets. I have a bucket that I'm using to store all my Terraform state file for all the projects. So you can see here, Terraform remote state. If I select it, it has all the projects that I'm working on, right? So create one bucket you will use to store all your Terraform state. An idea is you can start with your name and use the same pattern I'm using here. So I call it Terraform remote state and just your name, because you know the bucket name has to be unique. So that's all you need to do on the back end. Create an S3 bucket you will use to store your remote state. Add the name of the S3 bucket here. Then for the key is just whatever you want to name that state file. So the idea is that whatever you put here, the first part of it, this will be the folder. And this next part of it will be the name of the state file. Since I said use the same S3 bucket to store all your Terraform, all the state file for all your Terraform project, you don't have to, if let's say you have 10 Terraform projects, you don't have to create 10 S3 bucket. You can create just one S3 bucket. And under the key, you make that, in that bucket, you create a folder that is unique to the project. So since this is the Nest app project that I'm hosting on an EC2, I call not a Nest app, I'm sorry. So since this is the Shopwise project that I'm hosting on EC2, I call the key Shopwise EC2, and the name of my state file will be Terraform state. So what this means is that in this S3 bucket, Terraform will create a folder called Shopwise EC2, and in that folder, it will store my state file. So if I have another project named Nest, I'll call it Nest EC2 Terraform state. So it will create the Nest folder for that project and store the state file in it. That is what you are seeing in my S3 bucket here. You can see here, I have a Shopwise folder called Shopwise EC2. If I go in that folder, I have my Terraform state file in there. So that is another way you can stay organized, where you don't have to create 10 S3 bucket for 10 state file. Use one state file for each project. Just create a folder first and store your project in that folder. Store your state file in that folder for that project. So that is this part. The region you are using, you change your region here. For the DynamoDB, this is for the Terraform state log. For those that have worked on Terraform project, you know how to do that. And yeah, just the profile you want to use to authenticate. So this is the backend. Then let's look at the provider. The provider, again, for the profile, I'm using the cloud projects. And for the default tag, I'm referencing my local variable, and I'll show you guys that later. So here I'm just referencing whatever the project name is and whatever the environment I'm deploying it in. In the output, you don't have to change anything here. I'm using local to reference my record name and my domain name. So really, the main way to run this project is now in the main.tf file. So I've specified all my local variables here, right? So these variables are, and local, how I am using local variables here is because some of this value, I'm going to be referencing them in multiple places. So I don't want to have to put var project name each time there. So how you can do it is you can use local variables. You specify your local variables here. So if you see here, I'm referencing my project name. And also in my backend, in my provider, I'm also referencing my project name. So that local just allows me to be able to reference it in multiple places. So now if this provider is looking for the value of project, it is just going to go into this main locals, right? Find project name, whatever value is there, I can use it. So it's just a way to set the value of something locally and be able to use it in multiple places. That's what I'm using it for this project. So once you've done that, under this module, you guys will have this as reference, and you really don't have to change anything. So the only specific thing you have to change here is your domain name, whatever your domain name is. And this project directory you are seeing here is referring to the project directory is referring to whatever name you call your project directory. So you see my project is in the Shopwise app. That's what that is referring to here. And I will explain why I have it that way. So all you do is you just create your module, right? Actually, I messed up with this module here. But it's not really. I forgot to change something. So all you do is you just create your module. This should be Shopwise. But the module name can be anything you call it. But it's probably from when I copied it over from the other project, I forgot to change it. So once you create your module will be Shopwise app or whatever name you want to call your module, right? Then the source where your module is located, you can store your infrastructure in your GitHub and download it from GitHub. So right now I'm just doing it locally. So my source is in my infrastructure. So it means when this project will run, this 2 dot means, so our Terraform project will run in this Shopwise app, right? When you guys see this 2 dot, it means the configuration file you are looking for, go out of this folder. That is what that 2 dots mean. It means we are going back one directory. Then once you are out of that folder, look for infrastructure, which is this. That is where all my Terraform projects are located. Then in there, you guys know all the things we include here are just whatever is your variable here. So everything in our variables here, and I mean everything, unless if you have a variable that has a default, then you won't have to specify it. But here I'm not using any default. So everything in here is what we added here. So all your variables go here, and you guys can even see that. Let me show you side by side. The same way I organize my variable is the same way I did it here, just to try to be a little bit organized. So you see environment as region, project name, environment, project directory. You can see region, project name, environment, project directory. Then the next one is the VPC variables. You can see VPC variables here. So literally everything in your variable is what you are pasting here, right? Then once you do that, you just need to add the value. So for the region, project name, and environment, we are passing that from local. So that's why I have local here. So when you guys work on this project, you really don't have to change anything here other than change your domain name here. Then all this value stays the same. Then here is the secret manager variable. So whatever name you called your secret manager variable, remember the secret you will create in AWS. So whatever name you create for your secret, if I select the secret, retrieve value, right? This is the secret I told you guys to create. Whatever name you called it, right? That is what you will put here. Then all this can stay the same. You don't have to change this. This is just some variables for your RDS database. So there's nothing specific here. You can call your RDS database whatever name you want to call it. I'm calling it AppDB. So you can leave all this value as default. So my domain name, I'm passing it from local, and the alternative domain name, right? You can even do this alternative domain name as local too, but I'm not going to use it in multiple places. That's why I just left it. So alternative domain name is, you guys know when we do the subdomain name, this is how we do it, right? Then I'm connecting to an SNS topic here. Make sure you update your email here. Then the AMI, I'm using US East 1. That is why I'm using this AMI here. So if you guys are using a different region, don't forget to update your AMI here, because you know AMI is specific to a region. So to get your AMI, let's say you are using a different region. Let's say you are using Ohio, for example. You'll come to EC2. And I'll try to get a note, a README note for all the things you guys have to change. Try to organize something step by step that you can follow. So here, you can just launch an instance. And if you come to AMI here, select Amazon Linux, and we are using the Amazon Linux 2023, right? Amazon Linux 2023, you can just copy the AMI ID here. So that's the AMI ID. You can copy it here, and that's what you will enter here. The next thing I want to show is the script. So the script is the same bash script we use to launch it in an EC2 instance, right? When we manually launch it, this is just enabling debugging mode, where if a command fail, I believe the entire script will fail. Or it would show, it's just a way to troubleshoot to see if your script failed, which one failed. I think this will print the output for each command, and you'll know where your script is failing. So this is just optional, right? So I have the script here. You guys can leave the script the same exact way it is, right? So the script is going to update our EC2 instance. Then it is going to install PHP version 8, install Apache, and all the PHP extensions the application needs. It is going to update these PHP settings, the memory limit, and max execution time. So for this one, so far, you don't have to change anything here. It is going to enable mode rewrite. You don't have to change anything here. So this is the part we will install our application. So here, maybe what I should do is create, I can even create an environment variable here, but I'll let you guys do it. So here, you have to, next, we will download our file, our project application from S3 bucket, right? So on line 24, you have to put your S3 bucket name here and the file in that S3 bucket you want to download. So if you look, my S3 bucket, in my S3 bucket, remember I'm storing all my project application code in this project web files, right? And in here, I'm trying to download the shopwise. So if you select that one, you can see the value we are seeing there is the URI. It is the one that says S3, the name of the S3 bucket, and the specific file in that S3 bucket you want to download, right? That is what you are seeing here. So once you copy the S3 URI to that application code, what this is saying is we will copy that file from the S3 bucket, and we will copy it into our HTML directory on our EC2 instance. Once we copy it there, we change our directory into the EC2 instance. So maybe I should put something here. Is there anything you guys want me to, well, I can zip it back again, but please take note on line 24, you have to update your S3 bucket here. 27, we change our directory into the HTML directory. Line 30, we are going to unzip the file we copied from our S3 bucket. The file is called shopwise zip, right? That is what is here. So when we download it, we are downloading file shopwise zip. That is why you see that here. So whatever name you choose to name it, that's what you put here. These are the little things that makes your knowledge. And this is how you build your knowledge. You have to understand exactly what you are doing. So we downloaded the file into our HTML directory. Now we are trying to unzip it. Whatever the name is, that's what you put here. Right. Once we unzip it, in the Shopwise, if you guys want me to send the application code to you, I'll send it to you too. So that way you have the specific application code that I have. You know what? I'll send the application. I will send this zip file to you guys so you guys have the same zip file. So once we unzip it, in that file, there is just a zip. There is just the unzip version that is called Shopwise. And what we are doing is we are copying everything outside of that into our HTML directory. We are copying all of our application code into the HTML directory. Once we copy it, we would unzip, right? So as long as you guys, I'll give you the zip file. So the name will be the same. So as long as you guys keep the same name, you don't have to change anything here. The only thing you have to change here is really whatever name you create for the S3 bucket, you will be storing it in. So once we do that, we are going to set some permissions on this directory. You don't have to change anything here. And once we do that, we are going to update our .env file. This is the sed command to update your env file. You don't have to change anything here as well because I'm adding it dynamically. It is going to get this from our environment. It is going to get it from our Terraform project. Then the next thing you have to do is, and I'll give you guys this file too. I'll give you guys the provider.php file. So in your S3 bucket, you will create, in your S3 service, you will create another bucket. That bucket will be for all the service provider file. So you can see I created a bucket here. My name, app service provider. So in here, I'm storing the provider file for each of the application that I'm working on. And mind you, this is only specific to the framework for this application. And I don't really know how to say that name. Let me just look for it. The application we are hosting is built in this framework, right? So updating the app service provider file is not applicable to every framework. So let's say it's a Java app you are hosting or a Node app, the process might be different, but for this application, this framework is it what we are doing in this application, because the application is written in this framework. We need to update our service provider file, our app service provider file. So I just want to point that out. The Nest app you guys worked on and the Shopwise is based on that framework that I just showed you. So if you create an S3 bucket, and I'll give you this provider file. So here, just to differentiate, you can see I named it Nest App Service Provider and Shopwise App Service Provider. So if I have 10 different applications that are built in that framework, I'll just add something in the beginning to make it specific to that project. So once I've done that, right, in our script, we want to replace that app service provider, because that when we start redirecting HTTP traffic to HTTPS, we need to make an update in there. So, okay, Shamika, I'll check. Sorry, I know I need to get back to you. I'm sorry. I'll definitely do that today. So we are going to run this command. So remember, take your notes. Don't forget to update the name of your S3 bucket. The name of your S3 bucket here. And you can see in that S3 bucket, it is going to copy this particular file, the one I call Shopwise App Service Provider. So as long as you use the same file I'm giving you and you are not changing the name, you can leave this here. The only thing you need to do is just specify your S3 bucket. But I want you guys to understand what is going on here, right? So we are copying this Shopwise app service provider.php file, which is this file you are seeing here. I'm copying this file into this providers directory on our EC2 instance. And when we copy it, we are renaming it as what the name should be, app service provider. So you don't need to change anything here other than just upload the file into an S3 bucket and update your S3 bucket here. And once we do that, we are restarting the server. So in this script, you will only be updating your S3 bucket name on line 52 and your S3 bucket name on line 24. Those are the only two things you will change in this script. And if you even want to make it fancy so that you don't forget in the future, you can create an environment variable up here called project file, S3 bucket for project file or whatever name you want to call it, add the value and do the same thing for them. So that way, you know, you just update it up here and you don't have to worry about here. So that is this script. And in here, the next script is the migrate, right? This is the script that will migrate our SQL script into our RDS database. So here, you really don't have to change anything here. Right. Well, yeah, I lied. So for the most part, you don't have to change anything here. You guys know we will download Flyway. We will make sure Flyway is executable from any directory. We are creating the SQL directory. Then we will copy the file, our SQL script from our S3 bucket into our server. Then we will migrate it, right? So I'm going to give you guys the SQL script, the app service provider.php file, and the web files. Just like I did for the other two, it's the same thing you do here. You create another S3 bucket for all your SQL script. So you can see here, I call the AOS node SQL files, right? So you can see all the SQL files for all the other projects. So I have Nest, Rentzone, and Shopwise. This is the Shopwise one. I'll give you the same exact file. So I've already named it, whatever the proper name that Flyway is looking for. So once you upload it here, right, if you select it, you just need the URI. And that is what you guys are seeing here. So on line 16, you will need to update your S3 URI here. And really all it is if you keep the same file name, it will just be the name of your S3 bucket. So we are copying that SQL script from our S3 bucket into the SQL directory we create, and we'll run Flyway migrate. And another thing I had here is this Terraform script is going to launch an EC2 instance, to install Flyway on it, and migrate our data. And once it is done, this command is going to stop that EC2 instance after 7 minutes. So I'm giving it 7 minutes to allow everything to run. And once everything runs after 7 minutes, this script is going to stop that EC2 instance. So that way you don't leave the EC2 instance running. So that is all I'm doing here. And this script, right, the name of the script is in the infrastructure. If we look at the auto scaling group, because that is where we are using that script in the user data for the auto scaling group. You don't have to change anything here. You can see the name of the script is here. It has to match the exact name you see here. And also the migrate, we are using that in the EC2 instance we are using to migrate our data. The name has to match the exact name here. And this part is just pointing to wherever this file is located. So I know it kind of sounds like a lot, but once you play with it, you would understand. And this is just for people that have worked on their Terraform project. Okay, Sonny, I'll check. I'm not sure why it is. I'll check. Okay. So once you guys have done all these things, I'll run this now just to show you guys. I'm going to open this in the terminal. I'm going to Terraform init. I'll run Terraform apply. Type yes. Okay, and I'll just let that run. So in the meantime, does anyone have any question about this project in general?
Yeah, my own question is that there's a fly, I think that's fly share to copy into RDS, to copy some scripting to RDS.
Mm-hmm.
I can see some endpoint credential and some other thing. How does that fly share capture the credential? Does it like?
Okay. So here,
Mhm.
mm, just a second. I mean, it is capturing it from the Terraform project, right? So let me go here. The RDS, right? It is capturing it from here, right? This I think at one point, that's actually a very good question. I think at one point I was using the this uppercase, right? But then I changed it to lowercase, but and it still works. So I'm trying to like figure out how exactly it is doing that.
You go,
But
yeah,
but
go.
it is capturing it from the Terraform project for sure. But I need to like find exactly um that's a good question. But I need to know I want to know why it didn't throw an error. Just there's a reason behind it. It's been a while since I worked on it, so let me check real quick. Yeah, go ahead with what you were saying.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Um, I know it's capturing it from here. Let me see. Here's your password. Oh, okay. All right. I thought I was looking at something else. I thought I changed it, but never mind. I see. All right. That almost. So I was looking at the EC2 one. So whatever you guys see here, right? Oh yeah, it's the same thing here. So you can see you can see in my Terraform project here. Almost drove me crazy. Okay. So you can see in my Terraform project here, right? So the two scripts I'm using, this install and configure, right? The auto scaling group will use this to install the application on our EC2 instance, right? So you know when you launch the EC2 instance, there's the user data part, right? So what I'm doing is I am pointing the user data to where my script is. So this is just saying, look in my project directory and you will find a project name, right? So that's why I see this project directory. You'll look in here and look for a name of a script that is install and configure, right? Which is this, right? So that's where it finds the script. Then for the user data, I've set these keys that I call, I'm not sure why I use capital case, but I just use capital case, right? Maybe that's why, because when you set environment variables in scripts, they're always capitalized. So that's why I did that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why I did that. So I've said project name, environment, record name, domain name, RDS endpoint, so on and so forth, right? This, I'm setting them to whatever they are equals to in Terraform. You get it? So this project name would be stored as whatever my Terraform value is for project name. Environment will be stored as whatever my Terraform value is. So that is how they are being captured in the script. So if you now look in the script, I'm referencing RDS endpoint, right? Let me just reference this one so you see. So this one, I'm now referencing whatever my project name is, environment, record name, domain name. They are being captured in here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, in that auto scaling, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one for the auto scaling. And for the one for the RDS, is being captured in the RDS as well. Not this one, but in because that is for the data migrate EC2. You can see in the data migrate EC2. Adding my user data script, right? I'm pointing it to wherever my script is located. And the environment variables that I've stored in that script, I'm pointing them. You see the endpoint here. I'm pointing it to my resource type dot reference name dot endpoint. You get it? So that would be the value of my RDS resource type reference name. You can see I call it DB instance dot whatever the attribute would be, which is endpoint. So here you can see it is that. Then the RDS DB name is pointing to secret, and will get pulled out from the secret, and the username and password is pulling it from the secret. Yeah, so that's where all that stuff is coming from. So Terraform has finished creating everything. So if I open, you can see my application is there. So this is for those of you that are always saying if you delete your snapshot, and you want to just run your Terraform code and everything is spin up, and you don't have to worry about leaving snapshot in your console and leaving any type of thing. So this is 100% deployed by Terraform. There is nothing anywhere else except for what we are storing in Secret Manager and the files we are storing in S3. Which those ones, I'm saying, once you have it set in place, don't delete them. They're not going to charge you for your Secret Manager because you are not storing so much stuff in there to get any charge. All right. Do you guys have any question? Questions, comments? Do you guys like this or you prefer how we've done it before. No, go ahead.
So I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So my question would be, so how do we, so I've gotten an interview question saying, so can you run me through process how you deploy like your 3-tier application on multiple environment, like say your QA dev and your production environment? So what will be the process like? So I mean, I'm just trying to see how. I mean, and you have a lot of experience. So how will I able to explain that? Or let's say if I have a project, I want to deploy this into, let's say, in another environment. So what would be the best approach, or how will I implement this?
Right. So you would take your infrastructure. You would take this infrastructure. You don't even have to store this infrastructure. You will store it in GitHub, right? Or whatever source you are using, right? And this project, you will store it in GitHub as well, right?
Okay.
So in your GitHub account, let me move this down so you can see. In your GitHub account, I'll just use any random project as an example. I'll use this one.
Okay.
In your GitHub account, there is branch here, right?
Right.
So all you have to do is create different branch for dev, prod, right? So it's the same code, but you create different branch for that prod code. So let's say this one I just deployed I called it this main project I just deployed. I called it dev, right? This is the dev branch, right? So when you create the code for prod, you will just clone that prod branch, and you update the values here. Wherever prod my, let's say it will be prod. For the instance type, it might be DB T4 micro or whatever. Right? The in-situ instance type might be a higher instance type. You change all that stuff here. So when you now run your Terraform code, and the main thing you have to do is, here. Let me choose. So before I even do this, let me go to my provider.tfr. Right. So you know that usually for companies, different environment means different accounts. So you have account A and account B here, right? This is 2 different AWS accounts. So I just deploy to dev, right? Remember, you'd create your branch, you now clone your branch, you just deploy to dev. The dev credential is what I called cloud provider, and you can even let's say you call it cloud provider dev when you configure it on your computer, right? So when you run your Terraform code on the dev branch, it is using this credential, so this credential will use it. So now let's say you now clone the prod branch, and you now call let's say you call in your provider for the prod branch, the cloud provider will maybe it's cloud. I'll use the same name, cloud provider prod. Right? You just update it in there, right? So wherever you update it in there, that will deploy to prod branch. And that's how you do different branching. That's how you deploy to multiple environments with the same code.
Okay.
You understand what I mean?
Yes, I do. Yeah. And also, let's say it's a 3-tier application, and I mean we are tasked to kind of write a CI/CD pipeline. That means I have to write a CI/CD pipeline for each what's it called, applications, the dev, the front end and the back end, right? For like your GitHub actions that you have to, like, you build a Docker application, for example, like you build a Docker applications and stuff like that. Like also integrating like SonarQube or whatever. That means for, if let's say I'm just trying to see the best approach. So let's say we are trying to like deploy like a 3-tier applications on multiple environments. And the project also involves writing a CI/CD pipeline. That means each branches we have to also create like a pipeline, right?
Yeah. So whatever branch you are on, right?
Right. Yes.
You can run your GitHub Actions on that branch.
Branch. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
you don't have to. So your application code is whatever your application code is, because since you are using Terraform to deploy it, whatever is in your Terraform code is what GitHub Actions we use to deploy. So you can see here, if I'm in this branch, if I click Actions, right? Well, I don't have any GitHub Actions here, but if you click Actions, let's say you've set it up, you click GitHub Actions, it will run it on the main. But then let's say you are in a different branch, you select that branch, you can run your actions on that branch, and it will just run the configuration for that code that is in that branch.
Oh, I see.
So if you are referencing things like environment variables and secrets within your GitHub Actions, you just have to make sure that you add secrets there that are specific to that environment. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's how you do it.
Okay. That's fine. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. Does anyone have any question?
Did you limit this to your own IP address, or you just used a normal IP address, or the default IP address?
In terms of what? In
terms of I think is the security group.
The security. I see. Yeah. So there's no security group here. Let me check. So there's no security group here that is specific to my IP address.
Okay.
Right. So you don't have to change anything. Really on the infrastructure, you guys don't have to change anything in the infrastructure. Everything is dynamic.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because on this particular project, I limit mine to my IP address.
Yes.
But on this one, it's dynamic. You don't have to. Okay. All right.
Yes, because on your project, that one we have to SSH into the EC2 instance. I did the SSH method, but I mean the SSH using the bash channels. But on this project, I am doing the SSH method using the endpoint. So that is not coming from my IP. So that's why I didn't have it here. You can see here, I'm using the EC2 instance connect endpoint.
Gotcha. I see it.
Yeah. All right. So literally once you guys are done with, let's say you guys run this Shopwise and you want to run the next app, you pretty much just follow the process. All you can do is you can just copy this directory down, right? You rename it. I call it Nest app, right? Then once you rename it, all you have to do is go delete this. So that's when you run Terraform in it will recreate that, delete that. Then all you have to do is go to your backend, right? Change this. Make sure you're already using the same S3 bucket for your state file. So you change this to Nest. And you can use the same cloud project to authenticate since you are using the same account, right? You change that. Then in your script, you'll just point this to the S3 bucket to download the Nest app, right? And you'll point this to download the PHP service provider PHP for Nest, right? And in your main.tf, right, you just need to update your project name and your project directory, which I call Nest app, and your module, you can call that Nest, and everything else here stays the same. All right. Then you update your backend. You guys pretty much know what I'm trying to say. So once you do that and you launch it, and that's how you can deploy multiple projects at the same time. The issue I was having, that got me to this solution is because if I was running, let's say I'm using all this infrastructure code to deploy the Shopwise, then I know the Shopwise and the Nest application are the same type of application. And I now create a different directory with all this code in there. every time I make one little update, I always have to remember to go and do the same update in the other one. Then after some time, I lose track of all the updates that I've made. So instead of just updating all the codes in two places, why not just use one infrastructure code, right? Then just deploy it to the project, and you deploy two projects much faster using one code. And if you need to update the code, you can update the code easy. So now if I need to update any of this code, I can update it without having to go in two places to update it. So that was how I came with this solution. But literally, if you create a service, if you create your backend file in here and your provider's file, and you put your script in here and run it, it will still work in here. But I just made it a measure and put it out here. You guys have any question?
So I guess the key benefit is this infrastructure makes everything more dynamic compared to how we're doing things, right? Is that kind of?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So it's the same thing we did in the project, but as now instead of you having two directories for two separate projects, you just have one, and you are running your project here. You have your project directory that is calling the infrastructure. So sometimes at work, you will see this too. This is also another approach that I'm showing you guys. You'll see this at work too, where they have all the infrastructure and they are calling the infrastructure, as opposed to how we have it in the Terraform module where we are calling one resource VPC, EC2, S3. You understand? This one, you can also call an entire infrastructure.
Yep, I got it. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. You guys have any other question? Okay. So I'm going to remember the file is in the Slack channel. I'll put the app service provider and the SQL script there and the web file. Watch this video over, run it, and it's also a way to do a reverse engineer to make sure you understand. And this is also making sure that you don't have to rely on RDS snapshots or AMI. This Terraform project would deploy your application from beginning to end. So that's the main thing that I'm trying to show you guys, and also for you guys to have it as a reference. All right. You guys have any other question? Cool. So if you guys have any question for Shamika and Sonny, I'll check you guys' stuff right after class and I'll get back to you guys. And for this project is in the Slack channel. So if you guys don't have any question on like AWS stuff, then I can move on to the other thing that I want to show you guys today.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Last week I ran into an issue. So it's on GitHub action whereby I tried to push the I've already done all the configuration up to build and push Docker image, but I'm stuck where I need to push my image into ECR. So a guy suggested solution on the Slack, but I just want to get a clarification if that solution is going to work. Can I share my screen so that you can see what I'm talking?
Yeah, sure.
So this is the issue I ran into. So I was able to, do the configuration, build AWS infrastructure, create ECR. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah, so what is that run Docker config workspace, run GitHub ID? What is that one?
This one?
Yeah. That wasn't in the...
Yeah, it wasn't in the, when I was trying to troubleshoot. So, when I tried like looking around and I remember that what I did in one of, when I tried to push from my own terminal into ER, I understand that I have to delete something in this config.
No, you shouldn't have to do any of that, right? So where was the previous, can you show me the previous action you ran that failed? Not this job, the other jobs. So because before you changed it, because in that job, you'll be able to see what went wrong. That one is your destroyed. So it will be any of the ones that has the X on it. Okay, let's look at this one. So this one, you can see it is failing on, even before this one, scroll up. It is failing on here, install JQ, right? Well, I didn't have a install JQ job.
I was just trying to, do troubleshooting on my own, just
Okay.
to come
All right.
out.
So let's keep going back to when the first one failed before you started the trial. I mean, I appreciate what you are doing. That's what I expect you guys to do. But what I'm trying to get at is the thing, whatever you have to do, is not as complicated as where you are, what you are doing over there, right?
Is it?
Okay. So you can see it says there no basic credentials, right? So that's probably why your stuff is failing, right? So it is saying no basic credentials. So scroll down. So you can see that you are trying to push your image. Scroll down. Let me see. Post push. Okay, so now scroll up. Scroll up. Keep scrolling up. The login into ECR. Can you minimize? Open that. Yeah. So why is it saying that manual login to ECR? Right. So I don't think your so the issue it is having is it is not able to push your Docker image to your ECR. Most likely your credentials you are using, because it doesn't it's a login, see right there it's saying login into ECR, but I don't see anywhere where that is successful. For some reason it didn't fail, right? I mean, you're able to build your image, but I don't think you were able to log into your ECR. That's why you can't push your image to it.
No, I was unable to do that. So, okay, so this has to be successful before.
Let me look at just a second. Yeah. Yeah, your login to your ECR has to be successful before you can push your image to it. So create ECR. So create ECR, that's successful. Host. Just a second, I'm trying to say. Build infrastructure. Okay. Then after that, we create ECR. Create ECR. Then after that, start the self-hosted runner. Then after that, we build and push image. So go into your credentials file. I mean, go back to your Visual Studio Code and let's look at your build file for this project. Okay, minimize that IAC one. Yeah. Okay.
Which one is that?
No, it's fine. You already opened what I want you to open. So scroll down now to uh so far your stuff is all right. So I want you to delete everything after for your build stuff. Delete everything there, and I'll send the build stuff, the build script to you again.
Okay, you want me to delete everything from
Line 224 down.
220? Okay.
224, yeah, everything. All right. So okay. Save it. Save your file. No, I think yeah, delete.
Yes.
Save your file and run it.
You already sent it to me, right?
I haven't sent it. I just want to run it. Make sure you don't have any error before we get to that point.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you have in your environment? You have that's right. Okay. And just to apply.
Oh, I think I changed it to credential.
Okay. All right. So you have to just fix what you said you change your credentials for your GitHub actions, for your GitHub environment.
Yeah, I think I changed it.
Okay.
Wait, I've forgotten this.
So try to sync it again. Let's see what that error is saying. So go to your git log.
I don't think it will be able to. What I can do is let me go back. I think it's gonna work.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where that error. So that is that the bottom of it. So really, honestly, the issue you are having is much simpler than all the different things you have tried to do to troubleshoot it. Which I mean, I appreciate the effort in it. So I really just think that job is not the job to log into your ACL is not logging in successfully, and that's why you can't push your image to it. So I want to see that job log into ACR. Create ACR, start the runner, build. So we build the image, we retarget. Okay, log into ECL. Yeah. Yeah, I think that job is just failed. So we just need to figure out why that job failed. Yeah, can you do show command output? Let's see.
I think you want me to fetch repo repairs.
So is there a way to cancel all your changes? So go back to
Can I just clone all the repository, all the repo into another directory, and then
yeah, you can reclone your repository if you want, but I would just cancel the changes you made here. I think you have you made some changes that are probably conflicting with each other. So go back to your file explorer over there. Yeah. Then oh no, your source control. Sorry. Source control.
source control. Where is that located?
The GitHub where you push it. That icon where you push it. Yeah. Then click on that three dots up there. Do under commit. Commit the commit, and then undo last commit. All right. Then under the stage thing, yeah. So click on the minus there. Yeah, the minus. Click on the minus. There you go. And so hover over that again. You can probably maybe hover over it again. Yeah, not that one. The way it says deploy pipeline. And click that arrow to undo everything you did.
You mean
So you see under the deploy pipeline YAML, when you put your mouse under it, where you have the two hems, where under the changes, you see that arrow, yeah, not the plus one, but the one that discarded. You want to discard all the changes you made. All right, so now this is another one you had in there before. So if you sync this, try to sync this and see if this works. Okay, so cancel. Then do the same thing, the three dots, commit, undo last commit. All right, now select the minus under that, yeah, click the minus and discard it again. Do the arrow thing. Yeah. So I think probably the best thing is to reclone your repository. Delete this one and reclone it and just, I'm not sure where it went wrong.
yes.
Don't open the folder yet. Just close this one. Okay.
It doesn't even, okay, easy.
But what about your IS? Oh, okay, your IS stuff is there. All right. All right. Okay. So scroll down to where we were making the change. All right, can you run this one? Your login to ECR is commented out here.
Yes, I made some changes.
All right, remove that one you did over there.
This one?
Yeah. Right. And run it. Save it and run it.
Well, I think I made some changes down here too.
Okay. So let me just let me copy mine and send it to you. What job is that? That's the build and push image.
Yep.
What's your name on Slack?
Shitu. You sent it, right?
Yeah, I'm sending it now. Okay, I just sent it.
I don't think there's no any changes I'm going to make here, right?
No. So scroll up and save it and push it and run the pipeline.
So another issue, another error I'm getting is this configure AWS credential. I don't know why it keep popping in. I tried to troubleshoot it. That's why I downloaded JP, whatever, all those dependency. Maybe I can correct it, but it's still like, bringing error.
So for those ones, it's just we are using different actions. So you don't have to do anything when it comes to those things because instead of you running the configuration yourself, there are different actions out there, meaning that things that will help you do exactly what you are trying to do without you writing the code, right? So when you see the warning there on a particular job, right, for that job, it is saying, so you can see the following action used a depreciated Node.js version, right? So that's just saying that the action you are using is using a depreciated Node.js version. For all the actions we are using in this project, whoever created that action, they are always updating them. So all you have to do is look at the action you are using, go to the documentation, right? Check the version you are using and see if there's a new version and just use that new version. You understand?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I can show you real quick. It's very simple. So go to your pipeline, your YAML file in GitHub in Visual Studio Code. This is how I always do it. Wahab did share the documentation one time how to find it. So go to the one that is failing, the one that is giving you that warning.
This one.
Configure, right. Right. You can see there we are using on line 27. We are using configure credentials, that one. So copy that entire action, the name of the action.
I think I already updated it to 20. That's why it's still showing error. I don't know. Okay, I've copied it. Yeah.
Paste it in Google. And select that one. And no, that one you select, that's it. Select the first one. Scroll down. There should be like a usage section. Just scroll down. Right. So that is how it is.
We're still using lower version, which is version 4, and we are.
This is the current version of the documentation. It is saying that is what it is. It is version 4. It doesn't have whatever you have at the end of it. So that's what I will use.
Okay. Yeah, I will change it.
So there they are showing you how to use it. So that's the current version that they are on.
Fully charged battery, fully charged. Unplug charger.
Your build is failing. So scroll up. So you already have a record in your account. You have to delete that A record.
Oh, oh, I supposed to. I think there's a mistake here. I don't think I have IAM. I've already deleted the IAM. And hello? Can you hear me?
Sorry. Yeah. So, what are you having an error? Let me see what your pipeline
I
says.
don't have the runner. We have to just like clone the image to build the runner. I don't have that runner because I deleted it.
You don't have the
IAM,
AMI,
yeah.
the AMI.
AMI, yeah.
Okay.
Can I build on anyone?
You have to just run all that stuff again just to build it. But you can
I think was it Ubuntu that we use or AWS? I don't even remember.
there's Amazon Linux. It's Amazon Linux. But you can just watch that. You can go through that step again and build your AMI and run it. And when you run into an issue, let me know. Then we'll look at it. But the issue you are having probably has to do with either if an action, you need to update an action, or if there's a typo somewhere in your script. But you shouldn't have to do any heavy troubleshooting with changing the configuration of the file.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll say just build, create your AMI again. Like I said, when you guys create your AMI, you don't have to delete them. They can stay in your account for as long. The AWS don't charge you for those things because it's just one AMI. They're not going to charge you anything for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you know if there's any issue.
Yeah. So just go back through the process. Once you get to that build image and build and push a Docker image, let me know if you run into the issue. I already gave you my own code for that. So let me know if you run into any issue, but you shouldn't. If there's an issue, we'll just look at the pipeline and fix whatever it's saying, but you shouldn't have to add any type of extra configuration to it. It's going to work. It's probably just maybe there's a typo, or maybe the actions we are using is outdated. That's what we have to look at.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
All right. No problem. Okay. Does anyone have any other question? So I'll still be online till later on. Just once you get to that point, let me know.
Okay, I'll quickly do it now so that
Okay.
you can look
Yeah.
through.
So yeah.
I think I've already stopped sharing, right?
Oh no, it's okay. I can stop sharing.
Okay, what is
All right. Does anyone else have any question? All right. So Sunny and Shamika, I'll check you guys thing right after I'm done. I know we 15 minutes past time, but there's something I wanted to there was something I wanted to share with you guys. I'm not sure if you guys still have time if you want to stay, because that's nothing to do with AWS. That's something to do with how this week of investing went. So
I want to ask.
Yeah, please share.
Yeah, let me. I'm new here, so I have a bunch of questions, but just come in one after the other. So for the ECS, I know that you deploy the Docker image through the Fargate. Is there a way you can come up with using EC2, like instance?
you can deploy it using an EC2 instance, but why do you want to do it with an EC2 instance? Or are you just trying to practice doing that? I've done it before. I think I have a video on that. I can look for it. But really, that's not, at work, they won't use an EC2 instance. So I wouldn't really focus too much on using it. But if you want to use an EC2 instance, I can find a video for you on how to do that.
Okay, you can share the video.
Yeah, I'll share with you. I think I've done it. The first time I actually deployed it is using an EC2 instance, but it's not really like an efficient way to run Docker. But I'll find the video and I'll share with you.
All right.
Do you have any other question? You can feel free to ask any question you have. It's not really, so you can ask as many questions as you want. The question don't have to follow any particular thing. So this is just, you can ask any type of questions you have. So that's fine.
Okay. All right. For now, no question, but yeah.
Okay, cool. So I wanted to show you guys something. So when it goes in line with what I was saying about when, just a second. So the main thing I always try to do is, you guys know, is I'm going to just download this and I'll show you guys. There's something I want to show you guys. The main thing I'm always trying to do is, like I said, if I'm working on something and it works, really, honestly, though, my ultimate goal is trying to show you guys what is possible. And for me, I'm at this point where I'm not tired of working 9 to 5, but I love working 9 to 5, but I don't want to do multiple 9 to 5 jobs. I want to come up with other ways to make money without getting 2, 3 jobs. I'm just, because I can be doing something better with my time. I'd rather even stay on Zoom with you guys for 10 hours than do another 9 to 5 job. But I want to be able to make whatever money I'll make on a 9 to 5 or even more. So what I'm always trying to tell you guys is finding other ways in addition to the AWS stuff you are doing that can allow you to make money, right? The one I was telling you guys is options, right? So something happened in options this week that even opened my eyes further into how much just being in the stock market and learning about it can really be life-changing. So this week, I want to show you guys this something. So you guys look at this. This is a contract. And mind you, a long story short, this week I made, how much did I make? I made around 112,000 this week trading options. And this is one of the contract, this particular one, I made 54,000 on this one on Tuesday. But let me show you guys something. The main thing I want to show you guys is here. Look at this one. Look at how much this contract went up the next day. I wasn't in this one. My contract was here. It's actually the one down here. My contract probably went up maybe 500%. But look at this contract. This contract went up 30,000%. And let me show you. So that's why I'm trying to tell you guys. I really just want you guys to just know what is possible. Like, I can't tell you what to buy really, because I like whatever I buy, I'm willing to lose money. And if I lose money, I'm fine with it. But I don't like telling people what to buy, because if you lose money, I don't want you to get mad at me because you lost money. So that's really why I really don't like to say, oh, you should buy this or buy that. But because really from mine, I've done my research and I'm confident on the decision I'm making, but I can't always be 100% sure. So that's why, right? So look at this contract, right? That's the contract that I just showed you that went up 30,000%. This is it. The previous day when market closed, because this particular company, this is Philip Morris, they make cigarettes. Those Marlboro cigarettes, if anyone here that smokes. I used to work at the gas station, so that's how I know about them. So they were going to report their earnings on Tuesday. That was this past Tuesday. So on Monday, their stock price, it didn't go down a lot. It went down $1 for that day. That entire day, it was just going down. But it went down maybe about $2, $3 that day, right? So usually when stock price goes down, the contracts get cheaper, right? So on that Monday, this contract for 126. So mind you, at this point, the stock price was probably 123, because it was at 120. It wasn't too far from, it was like maybe like 118, 119, something like that. So it went down that day from 121 to like 118 or so. This strike price for 126, by the time market closed, that strike price was this strike price for 126. By the time market closed, the price to buy one contract is 1 cent. So 1 cent, there's 100 contracts in 100 shares in one contract. So it will be 100 times 0.01. So it really cost you $1, right, to buy this contract. Let me show you guys something. So let's say you invested 1,000 in it. So that will give you 1,000 contracts, right? We don't have to even do 1,000 in this thing. No, what am I doing? 1,000 divided by
1,000 times.
I will give you 1,000 contracts, right? So now, when I saw this, I was like, this is how people, sometimes it's just about you have to keep looking and just being in the right place at the right time. So now, the next day, when these people, they ended up reporting their earnings in the morning and they beat their earnings, people felt good about their company's future. And the price of this stock started, the price went up $10 the next day. So by 10 a.m. the next day, the same contract that was 1 cent the previous day is now 3.20. So now watch. So let's say you invested 1,000 the previous day, you have 1,000 contract. So that will be $320 times 1,000. No, times 100, right? That's 320. And that would be 320 times 1,000. So the next day you would have made 320,000 just off $1,000 investment. That was this contract. So that was this contract.
Question.
So, yeah.
Where do you learn? Because it's something that I'm investigating. Where do you learn to trade options? A good place that you can learn it.
Yes.
There's no good place to learn it. I don't know who's traded. I don't know. I didn't learn it through anyone. I used ChatGPT to learn it.
Okay.
And I'm saying, what I'm even going to say is, when you guys are trading options, don't overcomplicate it. The guy that actually influenced me to start trading option, when I told him how much I made this week, he didn't believe it. He was surprised. And I've looked at his strategy. In my opinion, he overanalyzed things. And he, on the same things that, and I'm not saying I'm better than anyone, right? But I really think even when I teach AWS, right, I always say, just keep it simple. You don't have to try to do the most complex things, right? So the concept of options and stock prices, right? You are guessing that, not guessing, you are making a prediction that a stock price is going to go either up or down, right? So let's say a stock price is $10. You may say, for example, by Tuesday, I think this Amazon's price that is $10 today will be $15. So if before Tuesday, the stock price goes to 17, as the stock price continues to go up, you'll make money. And when the stock price gets to your prediction and it goes past your prediction before the date you say expires, you make money. So I just keep it simple that way. So really, all it boils down to is I'm predicting whether the stock is going to go up or down.
Okay.
So when you are predicting, then you pick a price that you think it is going to go to. So let me clear this thing and I'll show you guys. Right. So on Robinhood, buying an option will look something like this, right? And this is, I took a screenshot of this. I've showed you guys before, and I pasted in ChatGPT the day I wanted to learn, I want to start trading option. All I did is I took a screenshot of this thing, I pasted in ChatGPT, and I said, teach me what this is, right? So you can see this is the stock that I'm trying to buy,
Okay.
right? What you are seeing here are all the contract dates. So you can pick any date you want. You can say by, so right now, so it's a good thing I captured this here. This you are seeing here
is a share price.
This is the current share price of that stock. So you are now saying by any date, you pick any date you want. So right now here in this one, I'm picking October 25th.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying by October 25th, I think the stock will go to any of this price. So let's say someone that the previous day on Monday, the person said, I think by October 25th, but before or by October 25th, the stock price is going to go to 126. So the person picks this price. The person on Monday, that was what I was showing you, whatever the current price of that stock is at that time, whatever the current price of that contract is at that time, that's what you pay. So at this time when I took the screenshot, this is the current price of that contract. But on the previous day, this was the current price when market closed. So let's say you bought it when market closed here. By the next day, when the stock starts to go up again, the price now became this. So all you do is you just sell it. When you see that you bought something at 1 cent.
Yes. Okay.
You bought something at that 1 cent
per share.
That exactly. You bought something at 1 cent. That 1 cent was $1.
Yeah.
And by the next day, it already became $3.20. So by the next day, it was worth $320.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to make extra money based on how many contracts you have. So let's say you have, like I said, let's say you put 1,000 in it and you now have 1,000 contract. It'll be 320 times 1,000 and you make 320,000 literally overnight. So what if you would have, what about someone that invested 4,000? What about someone that invested 5,000? And I'm telling you guys, that's how some people make $1 million just like that.
You can see it easily. Because if you have some money, even 10,000 in your account, and as I said, you buy just $1,000 worth of contract for 0.1, that's, 100,000 contract easily.
Exactly.
And each contract is 100 shares. Yeah. So times 320, that's shitloads.
Yeah. So that's why I'm trying to show you guys what is possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's something I'm looking into, Azus. That's why I'm trying to find a good mentor to show me the ropes. I'm looking into it. Even this week I've been researching it and looking into it. Course, I went on course and I finally did a course that they have, and I've been doing it. Yeah, because I love it's something I want to understand properly, because I'm investing in the stock market, and believe it or not, that's the only place you're gonna make some serious money.
Yeah.
And these are things that if you learn it now, guess what? You can teach your kids this, and you build generation wealth with things like this.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to show you guys what's possible. And sometimes you guys ask, do you have to invest a lot of money? Really, you don't. I mean, this is obviously you have to know this is just by grace of God that, let's say you were happen to trade this for the day and you happen to be in this contract for that day, then you make a money. But now saying this happened has even shifted my mind to looking for gems like this for the day, because they are always there. If you look in contract the next day, there are always contract you will see that are like 10,000% for the day, 1,000% for the day. They are always there. So I'm just trying to show you guys what's possible. I wasn't even in this particular one. I was in the other one. I was in a contract that was here, and my contract went up like maybe 500%, and I made 54,000 on that one. I can even show you that on Tuesday I made 54,000. On Thursday I made 51,000. But if I had it been, and when I made 54,000 on Tuesday on this particular one, that was the first time I'm making that amount of money at once. I normally when the market opened, the first 15 minutes, you don't want to really do anything. You just want to wait, let everything settles. By the time market opened, 5 minutes into my market open, my account was already up about 50,000 or 50 something thousand. And you know what I did? I sold it immediately. And mind you, this thing kept going up the entire day. So let's say I just left this thing till 12 p.m. My contract price went as much as $990. So I would have made an additional 100,000. I probably would have made, let's say I left it till 12 and I didn't panic and I sold it, I would have probably made 150,000 on this particular one. And let me show you another one that I messed up on too. So that was the first day when I made 54,000 on this one. But this one, I kind of put a lot of money into it, but it was by accident. I bought it too high, but then when the price kept dropping during the day, I tried to average down my price. Then I just kept buying more to average down my price. That was how I end up. But I don't really want to use this as an example. I didn't have to put that amount of money. I just showed you guys you would have put 1,000 in it. You would have made 300,000, way more than I made putting a lot of money in. So that's that one. Then on Wednesday, when Tesla reported their earnings, I bought 30 contracts. You can see here. My average price is $2.24. So that is 224 times 100 times 30. So I invested $6,000, almost, let's say close to 7,000. You didn't have to invest this too, because again, I bought Tesla very high during the day at open. Then Tesla kept dropping throughout the day. And by the time market closed, Tesla was $2.18. So I had got to 30 contracts because I already bought some contract that was much more expensive than I averaged down, right? So I bought 30 contract for this price. The next day, Tesla reported their earnings. They beat their no, that same day they reported their earnings. They beat their earnings. When I sold my Tesla, you can see it was up like 700%. When I sold it, I made 51,000. But again, I sold Tesla too soon. So go ahead.
I said the money you lost last week, you made it back, right?
Yeah. So I've only, the money I lost last week, I've made it, this week I made it times 10.
All right. Man.
So I sold Tesla too soon. Here, this is where so the next day I sold Tesla well, it was Wednesday. I sold Tesla here around here. Yeah, I sold Tesla around here. Yeah, I remember it was 249 when I sold it. Because it went down, and when it went down, I was losing money. I was like, oh, I don't want to lose this profit. So I sold it when it went back up a little bit. And look, Tesla kept going up. Right? It went up. Tesla went by $50. Wow. Robinhood has this thing where you can estimate how much you will make if the stock goes to a price by a certain time, right? The same, when I sold my Tesla, it was still going up. The next day, you can see Tesla went to 269. So when Tesla went to 269, my contract was that contract. Where is it? When Tesla went to 269, what was that thing I was in? Not this one. Yeah. So when Tesla went to 269, this $2 contract now was, when I checked it yesterday, it was about $36. $36 per contract. So it would have been 36. It was like 36.50 times 100 times 30. That's how much I would have made yesterday on Tesla. But I sold it too soon.
It's good like that.
It was still paying me. It was still paying me. I'm not gonna lie, because it's like, I feel like I've done all the hardest part of it. Now I'm in it. The only thing I just had to do is wait and be patient. And I messed up 2 times this week. So roughly this week, I probably would have made between 250,000 to 300,000, but I made 100,000, like around 112,000. Then I had another one that I Palantir. I made 7,000 on that one. So I keep telling you guys there is opportunities in trading options. You can lose money, but I'm just saying, like, if you find it is just really something that makes it possible to make money. I don't know any other way to explain it.
Sometime I want to ask you. Okay. Suppose this trade has gone AY. You pay $4.20 for each contract, for each shares.
This is how much it is. This is how much I paid for it.
Yeah. But
right.
Okay.
This is how much I paid for. Yeah, this is how much I paid for it. And at the time when I sold it, this is how much it was worth.
Okay.
Let me clear so you see. So I paid $4.20.
I sold it. It was
I sold it at $5.95.
Okay.
And so these ones are very, and you can see some of them, they are very cheap, right? So that's, I'm just showing you guys what's possible. But anyone can learn it. Like I said, don't overcomplicate it. People even read charts. I don't know how to read charts. I don't know how to, all I know is.
That's the thing. I want somebody, like, I'm looking for somebody like to read the chart, because if you can read the chart, you can see, like, when they go, they're gonna go and like a previous high or something like that, where you can look for it to go that, you know.
Yeah. So really, my strategy is based around earnings. I've told you guys, when company reports earnings, their stock price will either go up or down based on how they do with their earnings. So really, all you have to do is guess whether they will do well with their earnings or not. And if you think they're going to do well with their earnings, then you guess that their price will go up. Then if you think their earnings is going to be terrible, then you'll guess that their price is going to go down. And that's it. That's just the main thing I do. So it's like 50-50 thing, but there are data, there are things you can look at to help you make good prediction. Let's say we take a company like Tesla, for example. They've missed earnings in the past, don't get me wrong, but there are companies that when you look at them, they are the leaders in their industry. They really don't have competition like that, and they are very profitable company. So just starting with that, you feel comfortable guessing that they are profitable. Then there's always like different data that you have to look at and different articles I read. So I'll read a bunch of articles on what the experts are saying about the particular stock going into the earnings. And if the tone is optimistic, you can almost feel confident that, okay, this company is going to do well. So that's the strategy I use. So that's what I'm saying. You don't have to don't overcomplicate it. Just keep it very simple. And I showed you guys that stuff last week. So if you want to find, go ahead.
Is it you bought 40 contracts for $4.20? $4.20.
Yeah, no, for one contract is $4.20. So what that really means is
one contract is $4.20, and each contract has 100 shares.
Yeah, so one contract cost me $420.
Yeah, which
So
is 100 shares.
It will be $420 times 40. That's how much I paid for each contract. But I didn't buy that amount at once. I bought it at certain times. When I this one too, again, I always buy stuff too high. But then if it dips a little bit, then I'll average down. And that was how I will end up having more money in it. Maybe when I make profit on something, when I make profit on something, I take a little bit of that profit and see another contract that I'm in, then I average down on that contract. So that's how I end up having more money in it. But normally,
really,
go ahead.
Azus, for that contract, if it has gone AY, you'd have to have 16,800 in your account to cover it, or you cut your losses.
Let's say it went down. Yeah.
Yeah, like it went AY. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say it went down. Yes, at that point, if I think it's going to recover, I'll leave it. And if I think it is not, then I cut my loss and sell it at whatever the current price is and look for another one to get in.
Yeah. Okay.
So some of these things you guys can set your stop loss. You don't have to lose money. Like you can say, okay, after I lose $100, I want to sell, look for another one to get in, right? So you have to be, what I know is that everything is all risks. You have to be willing to lose to gain. But I understand that everyone has different tolerance for what they can lose and what they can gain. But I just showed you guys an example that you really don't have to invest a lot of money to make a whole lot of money for that contract.
Yeah, definitely. So something I'm looking into, and I love it. I love your character because I'm doing the course in it on Coursera, you know. Yeah, because it's a good thing.
Aziz.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for sharing this. I want to ask a question. So when I look at the Tesla, I can see the price like 240 something. And I can also see like you bought something $4 average cost. I'm kind of like confusing with that. Yes.
Okay. On the image I was showing.
Yeah.
Okay. This one.
Yeah.
So these are like two different stocks. So this let me just open back up again. Sure. Okay. So where you really want to look is up here. These are two different things. So this is Palantir and this is Tesla. So they are two different things, right? But the image what you are saying is like the same concept, right? So Palantir with this one, Tesla with this one.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that for whatever contract I bought here, right? I am, let me see if it's saying it here. For this Palantir, for example, I was guessing that this contract, predicting that this contract will go to $42 by, you see, I bought it 10/16. I'm saying by December 20th, this stock price will go to
42.
You can see when I sold it, this stock price was here, 44.89.
Okay.
Right. And I paid $4.20 for each contract that I bought. But our contract work is there's 100 shares of a stock in one contract. So if you are seeing $4 here, you have to multiply it times 100.
Okay.
You understand? So once you multiply times 100, that would be a price of one contract. So one contract will cost me $420. When the stock went from whenever I bought it, because it was probably below 42 when I bought it, and it went to 42, and now it's at 44.89. This price that I paid for it is now what? $5.95.
Gotcha.
So now I'm in the profit. So that $5.95, mind you, they are multiplying it. So if we multiply, let's do it. You'll see that it will come out to that one. So if we multiply 5.95 times 100 times 40, right? That's what you are seeing here. Let me play this. That's what you are seeing here, 23. Then you can see here, 23,800. You see 23,800.
You bought 40 contract, right?
Yeah, I bought 40 contract, right? So it's 23, you can see here what I just did, 23,800. So that's how much the entire thing is worth. So if you just want to calculate how much I put in it, right? How much I put in it is, what was that contract price? 420.
Okay.
So that how much I invested was $4.20 times 100 times 40. So I invested 16,000. I made 32, the 28. So really what I made, you can see the total return here. What I made is 7,000.
Oh.
But again, this one, I didn't just put that amount at once. I was buying it over time because I've bought it. I've had it since 10/16, and I had this one for like 10 days. And when I made profit on other ones, that was really when I bought more of this. When I made 54,000 on Tuesday, that was when I even bought more of it. I even wanted to buy 100, get this contract price to 100, but then I only just bought several more. So, because I think I had 10 contract before. Then when I made some money on Monday, I bought 30 more contract. Then I sold it this Friday. But there are other contracts that are not as expensive, right? There are a $1 contract. I just showed you the one that was 1 cent. So you just have to really kind of like look for them and look for companies that you think are doing well, what you think the price is going to go to, and all that stuff. So there is like, but with my own main objective is just showing you guys what is possible, that in options, you don't have to just try to throw money at it to make money. But once you know what you are doing, I'm not even saying I know what I'm doing, but I've always told you guys, my strategy is just based around earnings. That's what I based my strategy on earnings.
So most of these companies that you are showing now, you are displaying. So you just pick them one by one, and then I don't understand what this diagram is all about.
Okay, so in this diagram, this site is showing you all the companies that are every company has to report their earnings every quarter, right? It's every 3 months they report how their company is doing, how much money they've made, and so on, right? Usually when companies report their earnings, if their earnings is good and investors get excited, their stock price is going to go up. People will start buying their shares in their company, and their stock price is going to go up. And if on the other side, if they report their earnings and their earnings is bad, people get scared and they start to sell their shares of their stock that they own, and their stock price is going to go down. Options is about guessing it. Option is about volatility in the stock market. That's how you really make money, because you are predicting whether the stock price is going to go up and down. On a normal day, stock will be going down, up and down by 1%, 2%, sometimes 3%, 4%, right? But on the day a company is reporting earnings, that's the day you will see their stock price can go up 20%. Like I show you with, I don't like this Zoom thing that won't let you click. You can see here, when after Tesla report their earnings, you can see how much percent it went up.
Yeah.
22%. So I trade the earnings because that is the best time you will find a stock go up that high. Either go up that high or go down go down that low, right? So let me show you another one I lost money on that they reported their earnings and they didn't do good. But I didn't put too much money in this, so I don't really feel too bad. So yesterday, this company, right? Let me show you the 5-day. You can see the report yesterday morning. You can see this is by 7 p.m. their stock was here. Well, it's just showing you that, but this was like 7 p.m. their stock was here, but they reported at 7 a.m. the next day. You can see by 10 a.m. their stock was down here. Right? So they reported their earnings. People, investors didn't feel too good about their earnings. You can see it went down $53, 12%. The same way you can make money, you can think they will do well, make money, is the same way you can also predict that they will miss and you can make money. You can make money on both sides. So all the companies you are seeing here, you can see the one I just showed you is this one. They reported on Friday. Tesla that I made money on is here. They reported on Wednesday. So all this is showing you is it's showing you that for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on this day, these companies will be reporting their earnings. It is showing you this company will report their earnings before market open, and this company will report their earnings after market close.
So is there a time where market will open and the market,
Yes. Market open at 9:30 a.m. on my time. Yeah, I'm on East
Central
Coast time. I'm on East Coast time, Eastern Standard Time. Market time open for me at 9:30 and it closed at 4 p.m.
Okay.
Right.
So Aziz, you don't really know if the earnings are going to go up or down. So you just take risk, right? Before they announce their earnings. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Exactly. So you don't know how their earnings is going to go, but yeah, it's a risk. That's the risk factor in there. But there are a lot of information, articles online, data online that you can use to to edge your chance in your prediction.
Okay.
You can also look at just the business itself, right?
Yes.
Is this a business that people are into? Look at UPS, right? Everybody is mailing stuff, and it's not guaranteed that because the company beat their earnings the last time that they'll beat their earnings again the next time, right? There's no guarantee there. But you can almost feel good about a business if you look around and you say, okay, this is a business that is a profitable business. People are shipping things every day. Right? Okay. But then you also have to do some Google research and find out what experts, the analysts are saying about that company's finance going into their earnings, and you can use that to make your prediction. So it's still kind of like 50-50, but you can almost be certain this company this is the one I made 54,000 on Tuesday. All the articles I read about them was good.
Okay.
And it was leading towards they are a profitable company. They are working on this and that. So, and the next day they did well. So it's not always guaranteed. It's not always guaranteed. You guys see me, I've lost 10,000 before, lost 15,000 before, but sometimes reading those articles can lead you in the right direction. So these are the ones that I reported this week.
To look at all these companies that are reporting, every day, how are we going to get most of this company? Is there like a database or portal or where you pick them up before you month?
These are this on this site, right? These are the ones they're showing you this week, right? These are the ones that I reported this week. So if you want to save the one for next week, if you click it, these are the ones that are going to be reporting next week.
Oh, can you share me the URL for this?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
So once you come here, I know it's a lot. You can't trade all of them unless you're a billionaire. You just want to buy, contract in all of them, right? You don't have to trade all of them. Look at Monday, right? They have some here. They have Ford. Me, I trade anything over $100. Any company that their stock price is above $100. I've seen that those are the company that if they beat earnings, their stock price might move at least $10. Those ones below $100, they really don't move that much, in my opinion. So if something moved $10 and above, you'll see good profit. So I always so my process of elimination, what I do is when I come here, the first thing I do is just even eliminate all the ones that their stock price is not above $100. So there's work involved, right? On Saturdays, after I'm done with you guys here, Saturday evenings, that's what I do. I do this research and I can do it till Sunday morning. And what I do is I in my Robinhood account, I have let me take a screenshot of it and I'll email it so you guys can see what I do. In my Robinhood account, I've created a watch list for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let me email it to myself and I'll show you guys. There's work involved. That's why I always tell you guys, there's nothing really comes easy, but if you put in a little bit work, I'll do this type of work any day. If I can work for a couple of hours and make 100,000, I'll do it. So, right. So, in my Robinhood account, the first thing I do is here. So you can see my watch list. I create Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? These are the watch lists. You are seeing 0 now because every day after they report, I remove them because so that way my thing just don't get too clustered. I just remove them. But I create this, then in each watch list, I would add the stocks that are reporting earnings for the day. So in each watch list, I would add all of these things. All of these stocks you are seeing now, I'm about to do it today. Every single last one you see, I'll add it. The ones for Monday, I'll add it in the Monday's watch list. Tuesday, I'll add them in the Tuesday's watch list. Wednesday, I'll add them, so on. Then once I've added them, and I will now go through each one. Anyone that is below $100, because I've traded them in the past and I always lost. For the most part, I lose money on them because they don't move so much. So I'm not saying you just have to find the right price to buy them. I don't want to discourage you guys because you guys might have a smaller budget than me that those companies, what you can find, you can buy. So you can still make money on them. Maybe I'm just greedy. I don't know. So anyone that is under $100 for me, for my strategy, I remove them from my watch list. So that will now leave me with whichever one I want to trade. So out of whichever one I want to trade, I look at the companies that I'm familiar with. So just looking up this list, if I just to say which one I want to trade, this thing won't just let me. So if I was to say which one I want to trade here, I probably feel comfortable trading waste management and Ford on Monday and Tuesday, right? Those are the ones that are just catching my eyes now, companies that I know. On Tuesday, maybe PayPal, and AMD. PayPal, AMD, maybe Visa, right? Companies that I know. On Wednesday, I don't really see anything in the morning that I really like, that I know too well, so I won't trade that. For Wednesday afternoon, definitely Meta and Microsoft, because I know them very well. You can see DoorDash is here, Aflac. These are businesses you guys know that you can almost say, okay, this is a thriving business. On Thursday morning, there is MasterCard, right? There is Signal. So I'll just look and say, who am I familiar with? But the one I'm most excited about is Thursday afternoon. My favorite company, the company that changed my life, Amazon. Right here. So you guys already know what I'm going to do with Amazon. I really love this company.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of glance through it, and I've already kind of like eyeballed the ones I want to trade. So
Okay.
once I get my watch list ready, my watch list will be ready by tomorrow. Once my watch list is ready by tomorrow, during the week, for every day. So if it's something is happening on Thursday, I won't buy it on Monday. for every day, I'll just go in whatever I have in my watch list and try to trade that one for the day. And that's how I do it Monday to Friday. You guys understand?
Before the announcement, right?
Exactly, before the announcement. So if a company is reporting their earnings in the morning, you can see here before market opens.
Yes.
You have to buy it on the previous day.
On the previous day. Okay. Yeah.
And if the company is reporting after market close, you can buy it during the market hours for that day.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I do it. So if I'm trading anyone that is in the morning, I'll buy it on the previous day before market close. And if the company is trading after hours, I don't have to rush. In the past, I used to rush and buy it, but now I don't do that. I'll wait to see how it's doing during the day, then I'll buy. Like I said, even with the Tesla one, I bought it too soon. At the end of the day, the price was so cheap. I'm telling you, if you guys would have put it, let's say you invested $2,000 in Tesla this Wednesday, you probably would have made $60,000-$70,000. That's what I'm saying. It's not about putting a lot of money in it. It's just about being in it. First of all, you have to be in it to be able to make money, right? So once you are in it, you don't leave any stone unturned. You just keep looking. One of these days, I'm telling you guys, you guys might even be better than me where you have a strategy that always works. So I'm just telling you guys what's possible. So this is how I do it. There's a little bit work involved with the research. So once I pick all the ones I want to trade for the day, then I'll just start finding a bunch of articles about them. So I might come on Google and say, let me even say, so you can see like when some of the past things that I can probably say what. So this is what I always do. I always say Tesla's. Let's do one that is coming up next week. Let's do Amazon, for example. Amazon stock earnings, right? So if you do, no, that's not Amazon. So if you look here, right under here, you'll start seeing a bunch of articles about that people are writing about them. These are people that use data to do research. So they can dive into Amazon's finance and tell you how Amazon is doing. So you can see Amazon earning. Is Amazon stock a buy before or after the earnings? So you can read the article by Forbes and see what they are saying. They're not going to tell you whether it's a buy or not, but you will see things that has happened with Amazon in this quarter that may help you make decisions that will help you realize whether they are profitable this quarter or not, right? So you have to read a bunch of articles. You read articles from reputable source. Forbes is good. Yahoo Finance is very good too. So Yahoo Finance has this, right? They have this article. So you just read it, and by the time you are done reading the article, then you can be sure, okay, by Thursday, what you want to do, whether you think Amazon is going to beat their earnings or you think they are going to miss their earnings. Just because they are a good company doesn't mean they don't miss. You can see right here, this is the last one I played. I think I invested like 15,000 in it, and you can see I lost majority of that money, probably like 12, 13,000 of it because they missed their earnings last time. So the good companies can also miss too, even though if they are a profitable company. So like I said, that's what I'm saying. It's not always guarantee they're going to beat, but what experts are saying about them, the company going into the earnings. And another thing is when you read the article, make sure it is a recent article. Like look at the date the article is written. You can see how will Amazon react to the Q3 earnings. This was written an hour ago. So you just read a bunch of them, then that will help you make your prediction. And let me show you. So like I said, my Robinhood account is just the account that I use to trade options. It is not part of my signed out. It is not an account that I use for any type of my future goal. It's just a place I'm using it to find money. Then when I get money, then I'll go put it there so you can see this is it. This time I made the 54,000 twice. You're only seeing 61,000 here because I've already withdrawn 100,000 this week. Let me see.
Wow. Thank you so much.
So Aziz.
Yeah. Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah. So when you read these articles, I just want to, from your experience, from what you have read. So when companies, when they make their internal announcement, it's not apart from earnings. So like, for instance, I'm using this for example, maybe a company says, okay, everybody is going back to the office, and it's a giant company, and they make that announcement. Do you think it affects the stock, or it's just
Yes, it does. Any news
okay?
affects a company. There even be sometimes where it's not even earnings periods. Like a news may come out about a company. If the news is good, their stock price goes up. If the news is bad, their stock price goes down.
Yes.
I told you guys about when the Chipotle CEO, Starbucks hired Chipotle CEO. And Starbucks stock price went up because guys know that Chipotle they recently did a stock split, but before they did the stock split, their stock was almost 3,500 per share. So people see that as the same CEO that got that stock price to 3,500 is now at Starbucks. Maybe it will do the same thing.
They will do the same thing. Oh,
so any news, good or bad, would affect the stock price for sure. On which day was it? Tuesday, Wednesday, when they said they linked some E. coli outbreak to McDonald's McDonald's stock. That was Tuesday and Wednesday. You can see McDonald's been going down since then. It went down from, let me show you 5 days. You can see
I thought Trump's visit to McDonald's is going to make them good.
Yeah, but they had the news, right?
Yes.
And the stock dropped from, you can say it dropped from it dropped from here, which is 315, all the way now. The stock is at 292. So they've been down 7%, $24 since the news. So yes, stock news does affect stock too. So that's why when people are investing in something, you just want to always pray that it's always good news.
Okay.
Good news.
So do you think it's a good time to buy it now that it's down because of that E. coli?
Yes. I always buy. I don't own shares of McDonald's, and I don't want to own shares of McDonald's. But if I was someone, not for anything, but my three main companies that I'm in now, that are in my long-term portfolio, those are the only three, not three, four. Those are the only companies I'm betting on for the long term, that I'm betting on to retire me in 5 years. It's Amazon, Palantir, NVIDIA, and Tesla. Those are the only four. I've sold all the other ones I bought, I sold all of them, and I've just narrowed it down to those 4 stocks. That's the only reason why I'm not buying McDonald's. Or else if it was something I'm interested in, I'll buy it, right? So yes, this is a good time to buy it because it's just in news. It will go back up. It's just in news. They may report their earnings. As you can see, they are reporting their earnings on Tuesday.
It's on Tuesday.
On Tuesday morning, right? They can report their earnings, and their earnings may be good, and this thing will shoot back up again. So yeah. So you can see here, I withdrew 50,000 twice. They only let you withdraw 50,000, you can see, on October 23 and October 23. So that's why whatever I'm doing, I always share with you guys. It is possible. So
this okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, so I'm just like, this is this is gold. Like, because I know how much some people can take from me if they're kind of, trying to teach you how they make their money. They will have collected thousands of dollars from people, and I really appreciate the fact that you're taking your time after troubleshooting to let us know how we can also invest
Yes.
our money. So we appreciate that. Thank you
No
so
problem.
much.
No problem. So that's what I'm saying. You guys don't have to pay anyone. Really?
Mhm.
What I'm doing with AWS Note or what I'm sharing with you guys, right?
Mhm.
I didn't have to pay too much money to learn anything, right? So I'm not saying you don't have to pay. If someone is obviously now I can show this. I have screenshots and screenshot of me making 8,000, 7,000. I just show you guys 50,000, 7,000, and I can create an ad and run the ad, and I make someone put the price at 5,000. People are gonna buy it, but I don't know. I feel like I get blessed this way, so I don't have to be greedy to try to tell you guys try to charge you guys for what I didn't do, right? So what I'm telling you guys, obviously, I'm not saying I want to give all my knowledge out for free either. Like that's what I'm saying. If I've been sitting here for 3 hours now, I want to be compensated for my time here. And whatever is affordable enough for everyone, whatever is affordable enough, it has to be an equal exchange. It has to be something that's not breaking your bank, and it has to be something that's made my time worth being here. And that's all I care about. But I don't have to, I'm saying all that to say you don't have to pay $5,000 for things you can Google. I just show you guys just different things I did. There's work involved. But I feel like sometimes the mistake we make is we want someone to just we want someone to tell us, buy McDonald's today. And that's what the hope of someone telling us what will win is what we are paying for. That's what's leading us to pay this amount. If someone say, pay me 5,000, you just say, pay it. But I'm telling you, no one can really predict where any of this thing will go unless if you you have the results of their earnings in your hand. Unless no one can really predict where the stock is going to go. So that's what I'm saying. In anything, whether it's AWS or stock, there's work involved that you guys have to do. And once you take your time, do that work, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And after some time, you just have a strategy you use and you rely on that strategy and you stick with it, and that's it. So I feel like I'll get blessed in other ways. So it's not information I will charge you guys 5,000 for, but I'll show you guys where is that. It's up to you guys to go and dig through all this, and find the ones you think you want to trade. Do your research on it and live with the results. So yeah.
Aziz.
Yes.
Well, going back to what the last speaker, the last student said, I just want to say thank you. You might not know it, but we do. We appreciate you. After taking your time and teaching us the cloud, spending time to troubleshoot. Even myself, when I'm nervous, there's a way you calm me down, and then I will see myself as a champion. So, and after doing all of that, you still, you take it upon yourself to share all of this. Yeah, like you said, you get blessed one way or the other, but I just want to, like appreciate you. And I know for sure that God will continue to enrich your pocket and bless you because it's not everybody that will be able to do it. Honestly, it's not everybody. So you might not know it. That is why when the other guy said it, and then I have to just chip in as well. So we really, really appreciate you because, like me, my goal, oh, I can't wait to get my first job, then second laptop, third laptop, because that is a few cloud engineer that I know that is what I'm doing. Even not AWS related IT audit in this part of Texas that I know, even though I'm in New Jersey. But I know for me as a family of blessed with 4 boys, my wife and I could also spend time and do something else. with just my one laptop, if I'm smart in the way I go about investing. So it's not about the money alone, but my ability to make use of that income and then diversify and multiply it. So that is why you might not know this, but I don't want to continue to talk like a preacher. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And you said it, that's exactly why I even started this whole conversation. The first time I started it is AWS and cloud is definitely a career that can allow you to make high income. Then once you make that high income, investment is what is the tool you can use to even multiply that income times 3, times 4 to get you to your retirement goal faster. That's the whole thing I'm trying to get you guys to realize. I mean, that's really what I've done. I've earned high income in cloud. Then I've somehow transitioned a majority of those income into investing and even made more money on it. And that's literally what I'm trying to get you guys to realize, that I'm not trying to. I want to work on cloud engineer as a cloud engineer until I retire. But for me, I just don't want to do 2 jobs anymore. I really just want to stick to 1 job, so I can focus on AOS Node and I can also focus on making money this way. Pretty much creating avenues to make money that is not tied to 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is good. I'm not saying keep your 9 to 5. I'm keeping my 9 to 5, but I'm not going to, instead of doing 2, 3 9 to 5, I'm saying struggle with that time, persevere through that time to try to find something that can make you money. And you only be thankful for it. And which is why this is what I found. And that's why I'm sharing this with you guys. And I stumbled upon this because when they fired me from my other job and I was looking for another way to make money, I didn't want to apply. I didn't apply to any job. I just said, you know what? I need to figure out a way to make money. At first, I started trading penny stocks. I was losing money. I tried other things. I was losing money. Then I said, okay, you know what? I've always heard about these options, but people that I've heard it from are always people, they always speak of it in a negative way. They always talk about how they're losing money. But I just said, okay, I'll try it. And initially I started losing money, but once I figure out, okay, I can trade the earnings. And this earnings thing you guys say, it is continuous. It goes on. By the time this next batch of quarter, all these companies report their earnings this quarter, by the time the last company in the quarter is reporting their earnings, the next quarter is starting and all these companies are repeating it all over again. So it is something that doesn't end. And there are people that just use this, trade it 100% and that's their 9 to 5 job. So, yeah, so, I mean, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys even being here and with everything too. So it's just trying to show you guys that this is possible.
So, a quick question, please. Thanks for sharing this. If someone is approved for trading option, how is it going to know on the Robinhood?
I think in your account, there's a place in your account you will know, but for example, if you want to trade, let me say,
Okay.
He have to be accepted, and I think he got to go to his settings. He got to go to option traders. Sometimes they don't let you go. They don't let you do it to get in. They have like another. They don't want you to lose no money understanding options. So
Yeah.
you have to do like some kind of like vet process.
Yeah.
Where they'll reach out to you and they ask you like a couple questions. I failed a couple questions, but I'm still learning it for as what is a put, a call, how many options can you trade, and that kind of stuff like that. So that's what he had asked me, and I couldn't really give him a definition of what I'm doing for as I'm just trying to get into it for his option trade. He sent me some research that I have to go look at some more. I just want to look at YouTube videos and try to figure out the questions as he asked me and to try to like to repeat it so I can be allowed into option trader. I think that's what what he's going through for us, because you just can't just get in there and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna option trade. I don't think it worked like that.
It's true.
Some people it might work like that, but that's what he sent me to go and do for us when you reach on out and when you go do all the necessary steps. But I could be wrong, but then again,
No,
I
you're
ain't
right.
there yet.
You're right. Dylan is right. So once you open a Robinhood account, option is not enabled in your account by default. So you have to apply for it. And what I found when you apply to Robinhood, when you apply for options on Robinhood or any other platform, the first time, I'm saying, but I'm not saying it. Don't you guys, you just hear what I'm saying and get the idea. If you put high income, they will approve you. So when I get to the questions, I'm applying for it, and they ask me how much am I making in my household. I put something like 150, 200,000, something like that. They approve. But my other friend that was trying to do it, when he put like 50,000 or something like that, he got denied, right? So I think the other part of that is once you get denied through the app, then someone calls you, is when they are trying to vet you that way. So Dylan is right. The whole thing is just they don't want you to lose money. They want you to know what you are doing, because in options you can lose money very fast.
Yeah.
So it's a way to protect you. So that is why that is. But if you want to know if you after you've applied for it, they should send you an email whether you have approved. But how I just know is if you go on any stock, right? If you in that stock, if you click trade, you will see let's pick Tesla, for example. Go look for Tesla. And if you see, and I don't usually use the web, I use the app. So on the app, you will see the logo. Let me look at it now so I can tell you the exact thing. So if you search for Tesla on the app,
yeah, I see same thing that you are seeing.
You will see trade. If you see trade, that means if you click that trade, you will see trade options. So that means options is enabled. If you don't see trade options there, then option is not enabled in your account. On the web, it is here. If you see trade options here, it means options is enabled in your account and you can trade options.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I think I've gone beyond what the guys what you talk about, because I have the account for over maybe 4 or 5 years.
Okay, cool.
I have Bitcoin on it. I have Dogecoin on it, and I lost almost all my money, like $8,000 or $9,000 that time.
Okay.
So I've not been going in there. But during that time, I heard about trading option, and I don't know, but
you may have enabled it in the past.
yeah, with what you are seeing now on your page, I can see that.
So you can see trade options here.
Yeah, I can see it.
Then you have options then. If you don't have trade options, if you can't trade option, you won't see this.
Yeah,
because my coworker that was trying to trade option, he didn't have this option when we checked the last time. So if you can see trade option, it means options is enabled in your account.
Yeah, I can see it at the bottom.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. All right. So that's it. Remember,
so
guys,
I'll just click on that trade option, then whatever
so you click on trade options, right? It brings you to this page, right?
Okay.
So you have the call, right? So you can either buy. Call means that you are guessing that the price is going to go up. Puts means that you are guessing that the price is going to go down. So just make sure you are on the right one. So call is up, puts is down. Then this is where the current price is. Then from here, if the price is here, if you are guessing the price is going to go up, you just pick this one. But let me also tell you guys another thing that I found, that why the other contract I show you guys, one of the reasons why I feel like it's worth 30,000, right? So when you pick, let's say you want to pick the next one, now you can say, okay, this price is 267. I think it's going to go to 267.50, right? If you select this contract, right, it will give you information here. one of the main things is I haven't looked at, I need to study these Greeks to learn what they mean. I haven't studied that. I'll ask ChatGPT to teach me. But one of the main things is you want to look at the volume and the open interest. So if the volume and the open interest is high, the contract will get more expensive much faster because people want it. So if you look at this contract now, the open interest is 1,700, right? So you can click on this one, you look at this one, you look at this one, you can see this one has high, an open interest of 15,000 and the volume is 98,000. So this contract will get more expensive. If Tesla starts to go up, this contract will get more expensive much faster than this other one because more people are trading this one. So that is what another thing you guys have to look at that makes it what makes a contract more. As you can see, this one is 1,000. You can see this one, but if I was to trade, let's say I was to trade Tesla, this is the one that I will buy. But obviously the strike price is a little bit high, but this is what I will buy because more people are trading it, not this one. This one. The open interest is 15,000 and it has a volume of 90. This one will get much faster. That's the difference between what I was showing you guys here. That's the difference between why you can see as this stock price is going up, other contracts are going up 500%, 400%, 800%. And this particular one just is up 30,000%. It's because more people are interested in it and more people are trading it. That's why. So that's another thing to consider when you are buying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Ade. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Is there something you need to enable?
Alexis, can I quickly meet you after class?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can meet.
Okay.
Yeah. So, is there something you need to enable based on your earnings? Right. Oh, okay. So no, there isn't a settings you can enable. But usually when you buy options, you have a stock. Robinhood automatically announce when they are trading, when their earnings is coming up. Okay, so what's your question? Oh, you said that's not a question. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, okay, is that just an observation? Sorry, you answered. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, with that, we can end here. Thank you guys. So good luck this week. Remember, these are the companies that are reporting. For those of you that are interested, just do your research, pick one. I mean, this is a kind of a big week. If you look, you can kind of see some of our favorite companies are here. Uber is here. Amazon is here. Meta is here. Microsoft is here. McDonald's, right? PayPal. Those are the ones that are catching my eye. I haven't done my research yet, but those are the ones that are catching my eye. So
another quick question. So when you buy before the opening, and when do you normally sell it? Like what's the time frame? Like the time that you're willing to sell it?
So you buy it. If a company is reporting their earnings before open, you have to buy it the previous day before market close. So that way you can be in it because they will report before market opens, right? And if a company is reporting after market close for the day, you can buy it during the day. So let's say you are in a contract and they report their earnings and it does well, you can sell it at any point. At that point, you are guessing whether the price will keep going up, and the more the price of the stocks keep going higher, the more money you'll be making on your options. So that was why I was telling you that when I made 54,000 on that one contract, I could have really made 150,000, but I sold it too soon. So what I'm saying all that to say, whenever you choose to sell it is up to you. So if you see that, okay, I'm making this profit, I feel comfortable with this profit, after the earnings, you can sell it. You can sell it before the earnings if you change your mind that, okay, I think this thing is too risky. I don't know if they're going to do good and I'm not sure. There's times I've done that. I buy something, I don't know, and I'm not too sure, and I'll just sell it before the earnings. So what time you sell it is up to you. But if you're asking me, generally speaking, you don't want to sell the first 15 minutes of the market. If it's a company that report good earnings and you see them going up, leave it for the first 15 minutes. Generally speaking, I always sell my, on average, between 10 a.m. and 12 noon. But although Tesla, I could have left it till like the end of the day and I would have made more money. So it just really depends, honestly. Yeah. So it depends. Okay. All right. So Mr. Henry, I'll meet with you after. Sonny, I'll check.
Okay.
I'll check your account just to see what's going on again.
All right, thank you.
All right.
So,
Enjoy your weekend,
Mr.
everybody.
Assis,
All right. Bye-bye.
I'll quickly
Oh,
do the
Izzy, I got
deployment
one more
and
question.
I'll get back to you.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Please. Yeah.
When I was doing the Terraform project, and I was wondering about the snapshot, do I have to work the whole project for VPCs and the Bastion hosts
Yeah.
for the
Because
EC2
yes,
for to
because
get the snapshot?
yes, because your website needs to be, your server, your EC2 instance has to have your website configure on it and working for your Terraform. Like you don't need it to complete the Terraform project. You can just use any snapshot to complete your Terraform project. But if you are trying to see your website at the end of your Terraform project, yes, you will need to configure everything to get your site working and create a copy of those things, because that's what Terraform will use to redeploy your site. You get it?
Yeah, I do get it. And last night I had 3 snapshots and I wound up deleting all 3 of them.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
I've
I
told you
was just
guys,
like,
stop. You guys don't delete your anything time we do snapshots or or AMI. For a server you guys have already configured that is working, don't delete it, because because the next time you want to use it, it will just be there. It will be easy access for you. So let me show you guys.
and this is all for the RDS, because in my console, when I hit Terraform plan, it was saying
I do have
400
one EC2 instance
site.
running. Oh, I still have my thing running. I didn't delete. Oh, okay, the one I just spin up today. Okay, I need to run Terraform destroy. So you guys can see my AWS account. You can see I have all my AMIs here that I've built. And I've had some of these here for a couple of years. You can see I've had this one since 2023.
Okay. All right.
So you don't have to delete them. They don't charge you for these things because it's too small to get any type of charge. So even RDS, let me check.
I think RDS is free.
Yeah, the snapshots is yeah, because they probably store it in an S3 bucket. You will have to have so much for AWS to charge you. You can see I have the one for my Shopwise and the one for my Nest here. And I've had this one since June, right?
Okay. All right. Okay.
So
well.
I mean, and only because the ones that I did some cleanup, the ones that are there, I don't need those applications anymore because the PHP version is expired and all that stuff. So that's why I remove it. So when we create these things, when we storing them, don't delete them. Things like your S3 bucket, you don't have to delete it because you will have to store thousands and thousands and thousands of those things there for you to see any type of charge. So
okay. All right. Well, I gotta do my previous project. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
Okay.
All right,
okay. All right. Thank you guys. So I'll see you guys next week. Speak to some of you guys during the week and wish you guys best of luck for those trading earnings. Me too. Hopefully we come back next week and talk about how much money we made. So all right.
All right.
Have a good one, guys.
All right,
Mr.
bye.
Henry,
And
Mr.
yeah,
Henry,
yeah.
rejoin back after we hang up. All right. Bye, everyone.
Oh, you want me to relog in, right?
Yeah, I'll end the call, then you can
Okay.
you can
Okay, sir.
join
Okay.
back. All right. Bye, everyone.